be discussing lesson 11, the proposal. Today I'll be taking your English 3. So it's in page 142 of your first flight, the book First Flight. So this lesson has been written by Anton Chekhov. Anton Chekhov, popularly his real name was Anton Pavlovich Chekhov. He was born in 1860 on 29 January in a small seaport town of Taganrog, Ukraine. He was a Russian writer. He wrote many hilarious one-act plays. He is known as the most famous playwrights of his time, and till today his plays are very famous. More than his plays, his short stories, which are tragic of course, gained him more name and fame. So now let's discuss a little bit what this one-act play is about. You'll find a young man, Lomov. He comes to Chuvakov's place, Chuvakov's house, to ask Natalia, who is Chuvakov's daughter, for wedding. So in this process, the trio, Natalia, Chuvakov and Lomov, get into an argument. After every scene, they get into an argument, abuses are thrown, and we can sum up that these three persons are very quarrelsome in nature. They keep on quarreling and quarreling, whereas the main motive for which Lomov has come get missed out. So now let's discuss. There are three characters. The first one is Stefan Stefanovich Chuvakov. He is a landowner and father to Natalia. Second is Natalia Stefanovna. She is the daughter of Chuvakov and 25 years old. Third is Ivan Vasilievich Lomov, a landowner too like Chuvakov and a neighbor to Natalia, but he is very suspicious in nature. Now, what this play, or you can say it's a drama. Now, what is a drama? Drama is a form of composition specially designed for such kind of audience who can go and watch it in theaters. Your actors are given the characters, they have to play their roles, perform the indicated action, and say or utter the written dialogues. What are one-act plays? Because the proposal is one-act play. What is a one-act play? A one-act play is that you have only one act, not like other dramas which has more than 2-3 acts. Like for example, William Shakespeare, who was a very famous dramatist, he used to write many dramas. His dramas were more than 5 acts. Scene can be many in an act, but here in this lesson which one we are going to discuss, it has many scenes but only one act. So let's start with the lesson. Starting of the lesson, we find the scene opens and we see that Chuvakov is sitting in his sitting room, and at that very moment Lomov enters wearing very nice dress. He is very finely dressed. So Chuvakov, he stands up because he is the host of the house. He stands up, he welcomes Lomov and asks him to sit down. When he sits, he inquires Lomov as to where was he going, because he was so smartly dressed. Because such kind of dresses, the dress that he wore, it was only suitable for a ball or somewhere party, or any person that you are going to visit was very important. So Chuvakov inquires Lomov where was he going being so smartly dressed. Lomov in return says that he wasn't going anywhere, he just came to visit his neighbor, that is Chuvakov, and he came with a request. Right at that moment, when Lomov said that he came with a request, Chuvakov in his mind began to think that might be Lomov has come to his place to borrow money. And he right away he thought he will tell that he doesn't have any money and he can leave his place. But after that, Lomov, he tries to say that I have come here not for anything else, but I have come here with a request that I want your daughter's hand in marriage with mine. I want to marry your daughter. Chubukov becomes very happy, and he also says that Natalia too was in love with him. So they are very happy now. He says that Natalia too will be very happy, and Lomov also, he is contented now, because he thought that if Natalia loves her, Natalia is more like a home person. She is a woman of a good character and beautiful, educated, a very good housekeeper. So he is very contented. He feels that his life is complete now. Now after hearing this, the statement from Chubukov, Lomov gets very excited. His palpitation increases. Palpitation is something when your heartbeat increases, we call it palpitation. So his palpitation increases and he keeps on jumping like a mad person. Here at this moment the scene changes and we see Natalia enters the scene. Natalia, we have already discussed, was the daughter of Chubukov. She enters the scene and Chubukov he went out of that room now. So Natalia asks where was he going, just like Chubukov has asked Lomov before. He says that he will not be going anywhere. He just came to visit their house and he has come here with a purpose. So Natalia asks him what purpose he had come here with, but instead of telling her the purpose of his visit, he keeps on telling that how their family were in good terms, how they were very good friends and neighbors, and how now the topics goes to different level, how their the borders of the boundary of their each one's boundary is. He says that his Lomov's Oxen Meadows, which are name of a forest, borders with Natalia's and Chubukov's birchwood. Here Natalia gets a bit angry. She says that birch woods are theirs, but Oxen Meadows too are theirs, because it's not Lomov's. On this statement by Natalia, Lomov's gets angry. He gets angry. He says that Oxen Meadows are his and not theirs, and here starts the quarreling. They keep on accusing one another. They keep on argumenting one another. They say that they hurl accusations to one another. And Natalia says that he is a very he shouldn't be like this. He shouldn't get like that angry. But Natalia here, she gets to low level. She stoops herself low and calls names to Lomov. She says that he is of no use and all these things. Here in this scene, we see Chubukov again enters. Chubukov enters and asks Natalia what's the commotion that is going on. Natalia says everything, that Lomov is claiming the Oxen Meadows. Here we can see Lomov is totally getting himself distracted. He is not able to say to Natalia for what the purpose for his coming to Chubukov's place. They get into argument which is totally useless. He should have, when Natalia entered the scene, he should have directly told her about the purpose of his visit. But instead he derailed himself and he talked something else, and now they got into an argument. So when Chubukov heard about the Oxen Meadows, he too got very angry and abuses were hurled on each other. Lady's father to Lomov said that by shouting the land won't become his. Chubukov said that by just shouting and argumenting, the land won't become Lomov's. And he accuses Lomov of talking and disrespecting him because Chubukov was much an elderly person. So he says that his upbringing was not up to that point, because how can he's so much disrespectful to somebody who have come to ask for the proposal. So he was totally disrespectful here. Lomov on the other hand states that neighbors should be friendly and not quarrelsome, and Chubukov was a land grabber. Now this thing has totally got derailed. It has totally come out of the point where he came for a proposal. He is now shouting at Chubokov and saying that he was a land grabber who has grabbed his oxen meadows, and threatens to take the horse to the court. He threatens Chubokov and his family to take to the court because this land belongs to him. And Chubokov too says that this land belongs to them. Again abuses start, and Chubokov asks Lomov's grandfather, says that Lomov's grandfather was a drunkard. He always kept on drinking, and said that Lomov's aunt, Nastasia, who ran away with an architect. So now this is becoming totally personal. So they are hurling abuses, and now it is coming to personal abuse also. Hearing so much ill about his family, Lomov too, he felt very bad, and feels that perhaps he is going to die because his palpitation is increasing time by time. And abuses does not stop here. Natalia jumps in and calls Lomov a rascal. Chubokov calls him a scarecrow, a villain, and a monster who has audacity to propose marriage with his daughter. Now Chubokov becomes very angry. He says that he is a monster, scarecrow, and villain. Scarecrow is something that we put in the fields. We make a model of a human being and we just put it in the field to avoid the birds and other flies to come and eat up the paddies or anything that is planted on the fields. So he calls Lomov a scarecrow, villain, and a monster, and who has so much of audacity, so much of thing that he had come to Chubokov to ask the hand of Natalia for marriage. Now, when Natalia hears this thing in the next scene, she is shocked because she too wanted Lomov as her husband. She loves Lomov, so she is too shocked because Lomov did not say to her till now the purpose of his visit. So hearing her father, Natalia is now weeping, and moreover because of these abuses, Lomov leaves the place. Natalia here says to her father that please go and bring Lomov anyhow. And here Chubokov feels that he is totally burdened because being a father of a 25-year-old girl has great responsibilities. Here he doesn't want Lomov because he is very disrespectful. He doesn't want him to be the husband of his daughter. But because of Natalia's constant whipping, he has to go to Lomov and bring him back. Next, we find that Lomov enters and he is still palpitating. His heart is still palpitating, and Natalia, as her father, asks her father to give them privacy. When Chubokov goes out from that room, Natalia says to Lomov that she is ready to give him the oxen meadows, which were theirs initially, but because of this proposal, she can give it to Lomov. Now, after this, both of them, they are very happy. But now their topic changes to dogs, as to whose dog was better. Lomov says he had bought, out of his many dogs, one of his dogs' name was Guess. So he has bought that Guess for 125 rubles. Now, ruble is the name of the currency in Russia. Like India's currency name is rupee, so their currency is ruble. So at this, Natalia is very astonished. She is shocked because 125 rubles was too much. So she says that the dog that she has, named Squeezer, was bought by her father for 85 rubles. So that was a very high price which Lomov has wasted on such a dog. Again, slowly and slowly, the topic goes to a quarrel. They are going to get into a quarrel because here the situation is they argue about the dogs, as to whose dog was better. Lomov says that Squeezer's lower jaw was much shorter or much smaller than the upper ones, and Natalia in its place says that Lomov's dog Guess was of no use. It cannot run. It cannot run properly. It cannot hunt foxes. It can hunt only rats. So abuses are abuses starts, and the her abuses again. Argument starts, quarrel starts. No use, they keep on quarreling and quarreling. At the very moment Chubukov enters the scene. He says that what not. Lomov calls the dog better because Natalia's she feels that her dog is better because it was one of the best dogs during a competition. And Lomov's dog, he says that his dog ran with the count's dog. So again they get into a quarrel. Natalia's fathers come into the scene, and here again the palpitation increases of Lomov. Now here you see it's very funny. It's a one-act play. It's hilarious. This one-act play is a farce. Farce because you see unnecessary talking was much done here. When it was not needed, they have argumented so much. He has come for a simple proposal. He could tell it to Natalia straight away that he has come for a proposal, but instead they have got into quarrel, and the thing is being elongated. So, and whenever they get into deep quarrel, his palpitation increases and he feels like dying. So it's quite funny that whenever he is in a very tight situation, he feels like he is dying and his palpitation increases. Next, we see that his heart is going to break into pieces. Lomov said that his heart is going to break into pieces. Hearing this commotion, Chubukov enters the scene again. He asks what happens. Natalia says everything, and then he again quarrel about how their dogs are better. Again the quarrel is related with dogs. They say that how their dogs were better than each other. And now what happens? Lomov, he suddenly becomes unconscious and falls on an armchair. So it might be willingly or it might not be willing, or might be he has a weak heart, but it's not that clear in that book. But he falls down unconscious in the armchair. Natalia, she begins crying, and she feels that Lomov is already dead. Chubukov curses himself. He says that instead of accusing him, he shouldn't have told Lomov such things, so that Lomov took it personally and he became unconscious and now dead. Natalia, on the other hand, keeps on crying and crying. Chubukov feels that he too he is unable to breathe now. He calls for a doctor and he feels like he wants to do suicide. He doesn't want to live anymore because he sees the condition of his daughter is pathetic. She is constantly crying over the dead Lomov, and Lomov is here not dead. Might be he is afraid because the police might come and arrest him because of it's a kind of a murder, so he is afraid of that too. Suddenly Lomov moves a bit, and Natalia is happy. She says to her father, see, Lomov is moving, so let's make him sit properly. So they make him sit properly. Doctors comes, treat him, and Chubukov is now a bit relieved. He feels that he is his health also is a little bit okay, and without much argument, he puts Natalia's hand on Lomov's and says that they will be getting married soon. After this, again Natalia and Lomov, they keep on talking about their dogs again. So to avoid further quarrel and arguments, Chubukov, he brings champagne to celebrate the occasion because his daughter's marriage is fixed. So now this is the end of the chapter. We'll do a quick revision on it. Now the first is Lomov went to Chubukov's house to ask for the proposal, to give the proposal. Second, he tells him the purpose of the visit. Third, Chubukov agrees and is very happy with the proposal of Lomov. Fourth, Lomov thinks Natalia as his own life. Fifth, Natalia and Lomov talks together, but Lomov is not able to tell her his purpose of his visit. Number 6, Lomov starts talking about the land, which is totally unnecessary. 7, Lomov explains his ownership of the land, in which they begin quarreling against one another. 8. Argument starts. 9. Shouting starts. 10. Chubukov sides with Natalia when he enters and asks about the reason of the shouting and commotion inside the room. 11. Abuses are exchanged again. 12. Accusation also exchanged. 13. Chubukov tells the purpose of his visit to Lomov, in which Natalia hears the whole thing. And now she wants Lomov back in the house and asks Chubukov to go and bring him back so that she can marry Lomov. 14. She agrees to marry Lomov, and Lomov too is very happy. He feels that Natalia is a complete person with whom he can be very happy. She is a good housekeeper, well educated, beautiful, everything that a man needs, she was complete of that. Number 15, fighting starts over dogs. Number 16, it still continues. 17, personal accusation starts here. 18, Lomov faints and Natalia feels that he is already dead. Chubukov accuses himself for this condition of Lomov and wishes that he wouldn't have quarreled with Lomov and would have prevented Natalia to avoid all these accusations and quarrels. And because if they hadn't done this, so Lomov wouldn't have been in that condition. Next, Chubukov feels that he too is going to die because he cannot breathe properly. He wanted to commit suicide. He calls for a doctor. Next, suddenly Natalia sees that Lomov is moving a bit. So she asks her father to just look at him. And when he regains back his consciousness, Chubukov puts the hand of his daughter with Lomov and agrees with the marriage proposal. Last, they again start quarreling about the dogs, but here Chubukov takes the control of the scene and he says that no more quarrel, and he brings out champagne to celebrate the moment. So this was the lesson. I hope you have understood.